Hi, my name's Kadisha Samuels. I'm an actress. I'm here with the one and only iconic model, casting director, and celebrity acting coach, Wendy McKenzie. Miss Wendy, please introduce yourself.
Well, you just did.
No, Miss Wendy, you gotta say a little something, something.
All right, guys. My name is Wendy McKenzie. I'm an acting coach. Started off in the industry as a model and turned into a casting director. And I'm a mom. That's very important. So,
Okay, so let's dive right into it. So, Ms. Wendy, you just told everyone that you started off as a model. So, can you just let us know, what inspired you to get into the model industry and how long did you work in that industry?
I became a model because a friend of mine in high school was an actor and he was doing
Okay.
extra work on like the Cosby Show. That's how old I am. And so he told me I should be a model.
Okay.
And I'm tall. I'm 6'1", and I went on an audition and I booked a job and I took pictures and I was amazed how my pictures looked.
Why?
Because I didn't know I was photogenic
Oh, okay.
and I didn't know what photogenic was.
Right.
And so I took some pictures and I was like, wow, I have what it takes to be a model. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so clearly you wear a lot of hats. So
Mhm.
how was the transition from leaving being like a model, going to a casting director, and then becoming a celebrity acting coach? Like, walk us through that process.
Right. So when I started off in modeling, I was booked for a music video. The
Okay.
casting director didn't have enough people. So I told her all my friends are cute and I could bring them because my
Okay.
friends would see me in a music video and they were like, how do you get that job? So I said,
Right.
guys, I'll hook you up. She loved what I did so much, she asked me to do it again. And on
Okay.
that second shoot, I realized I just did her job and she got paid for it and I didn't.
Right.
So and at that time I said, what is your title? And she goes, I'm a casting director. I
Okay.
got chills because I said to her, I want your job. Just like that. I got chills because I didn't know what I wanted to
Miss
be
Wendy, you told
growing
a
up.
lady you want her job?
Yeah, because I just did something that was effortless to me.
Right. Okay.
I could do it in my sleep.
Right.
To be a good casting director, yes, you should know talent, but you also need to know people
Right.
and people should like you. Not like today's likes on Instagram, but back in the day, they need
Right.
to like you.
Right.
And everyone loved me because I was a very honest person.
Okay.
And so after doing that shoot, I started learning about casting and I worked with 3 different casting companies. One did commercials, one did music videos, and the other one did films. I worked
Okay.
on my first film, New Jersey Drive, and working on a film is difficult. It is
Right.
not easy. So I was like, yeah, that's not for me. Then I started casting commercials.
Mm.
Hated it because commercial clients are anal.
Right.
So that was not for me. But then I started casting music videos and print ad campaigns, and I loved it. I got to be around artists and I got to work on a project, say 1 or 2 days out of the week, and it was easy breezy. And I like just working on different projects at any given time. So,
Okay. Nice. All right. And so you told us earlier that you're a mother. So how is it being like a mother and working in such a demanding field? Like, how do you manage
mm,
all of that?
I have a very supportive family. Well,
Okay.
my mom, she said, whatever you want to do it.
Right.
And coming from Jamaica, I was born in England. My mom is from Jamaica and she moved to America and she just knew that I was different
Right.
and I wasn't going to take the same path everyone else did.
That's that Jamaican stuff.
And although she didn't understand what it was, she
Right.
supported me. And I had my son when I was 19 years old.
Me
So I was
too.
a young
Well,
mom,
Mimi.
right? I was a young mom. And so she took care of him whenever I had to travel,
Right.
whenever I worked long hours on shoots. And by the time he was like 7 or 8 years old, I started bringing him to shoots with me.
Right.
And he still rock with me right now. We just did a job together with the Locks and 50 Cent and all these people.
Period. Okay, Miss Wendy. So shout out to Scott too, because
Great Scott. Shout out my baby.
period. So what was like some of your biggest challenges you faced throughout your journey of being a model and a casting director and a celebrity acting coach separately? Like, what's some challenges?
All of one thing, racism.
Ooh.
Racism. People
Oh my
will,
God.
I'm a young Black girl in the industry, they look down on you
Right.
and you have to fight for everything that you want. I remember modeling for this fur company. I'm tall, so they like tall women in furs, but it was a white company.
Right.
And if I'm lucky, I'll probably be the only Black girl. But I'm like, where's all the other Black girls?
Mm.
So sometimes I wouldn't get jobs. I would get overlooked. And even while I was modeling in music videos, I'll be the only Black girl.
Mm.
And that's why I started casting too, because I was like, I would tell the
You want to
artists,
cast some African
where's
Americans.
your brown girls?
Right.
And they were like, well, when we show up to set, the models are already cast.
Mm.
And so you could change that.
Right.
And that's another reason why I got into casting, because I wanted to make a difference, So then moving on into working on projects, I remember working for this young Jewish girl. She got paid $3,000 for a project, and her talent got from $150 for the extras and to $2,000 for the lead.
Right.
The same company, when they hired me, they offered me $300. And my extras got no pay. So I had to, the job was harder for me to do. And she also referred me for jobs, and they wouldn't hire me when they met me. And she was confused because she didn't have a, racist bone in her body.
Right.
But she would fight for me, but they wouldn't hire me. And she would tell them, but she's the one doing the job behind the scenes. She's just doing it under my company. So I learned my lesson. I said, I am not welcome here.
Right.
I'm going to find a place that respects me. And I started working for directors like Dave Myers, Darren Grant, Jeff Bird, Tim Story, casting music videos.
All right, Miss
Brett Ratner, because they didn't care that I was Black. They just didn't. And so I experienced that a lot in the industry. Now in coaching, I remember I did an amazing showcase. All the agents loved me, right? They loved the work that I did with the kids. But I found out that they were referring someone else for jobs.
Wow.
For coaching jobs besides me. And I'm like, I'm taking these kids to the next level. Why am I not in that pool?
Right.
But I wasn't. And I started my own little company.
Nothing little.
Well, yes,
big
right?
company.
Started my company, and I said, you know what? I don't need them. I don't need any referrals from anyone. I'm just going to do it on my own.
Right.
So yeah, across the board, you're going to meet people who just don't value you just because you are a certain color.
And so, just like staying here real quick, do you believe that racism still,
of course,
exists in the industry?
Yes. Oh my God. So this happened today. One of my clients.
Yes.
I will not say the name of the project,
Mm-hmm.
but they recast to an all-white cast.
Oh my God. Okay.
Because they got a new director, and he just shut down whatever was happening prior, and it's an all-white cast, but I can't really say anything.
Right. Well, that's a little crazy, because I feel like there's a lot of amazing African American talent in the world.
Yeah, but we have to have
work
ownership.
extra hard.
Yeah, we have to have ownership. We have to write our own stories. We have to direct. We have to have our own production companies, to make
You have to do everything.
difference.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing to do everything. Screw them.
Right. Well, you hear it. Screw them. So, where do you get like all this motivation and inspiration to stay in such a demanding field? Because you still here, Miss Wendy.
I know, right?
So,
listen,
walk us through that.
On my worst day, as long as I'm living my dream, I am happy.
Right.
And I wake up at 4 a.m. with ideas. Like, I've been doing this 40 years. My son is 40.
40
years. Stop playing with her. Okay.
Stop playing with you.
Okay. So I still wake up. So recently I went through some really tough times. Nothing to do with me, but unfortunately, unforeseen circumstances, it landed on my shoulders, and it just really put me in a bad place. But even though I was going through all of that hell, I still would wake up and be like, okay, what am I going to do tomorrow to make sure I'm living my dream? I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And so as I wake up, I, of course, thank God, put my feet on the ground, thank you, God, brush my teeth, and then start writing notes. and coming up with new ideas. For instance, I have an idea that I want to do this for actors. It's gonna be called the acting. It's like a drama showcase for
Mhm.
actors, but it's gonna be more like game night.
Okay.
It should be so much fun, and I started trying it out a little bit. So that's one of the ideas that came to me. And then I came up with another idea where I asked all my students, like maybe 2 months ago, to find comedic monologues, and they couldn't find any. So I said, "Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to write a book." One of my
Wait, you're
friends,
writing a book?
well, it's a comedic monologues book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so like we can go in the book and we can find like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
comedic monologues to do like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. My
Okay.
friend Kristen J and we've been talking about it. We are flushing it out right now. And it's important to have published work. So
Right.
that's another idea that I came up with in the midst of the hell that I was going through.
So do you have like a name for this book? Can you tell the
No,
people? Can
not
you give us
yet.
a
Yeah.
little?
No name yet. Cause I feel
Okay.
like once the book is written, it's gonna name itself.
Mm. Okay, Miss Wendy. So, what role do you think casting directors and acting coaches play in an actor's career? Like, how important do you think your role is
We're a
to
part
an
of the
actor?
dream team.
Right.
It's the team. We're part of the dream team. Whether you have a reader or a camera guy
Right.
or just anybody that supports you or bring you in for an audition or help coach you for an audition, we are part of the team, you know? So you can't do this alone.
Right.
And there's an episode of The Wire called All the Pieces Matter. And that's how I feel. All the pieces matter. Casting, bring you in. But before you go into casting, you need the coach to help you get ready for that casting. Before you get to the coach, you need your agent to help send you these auditions.
Right.
Before you get that, you need the manager to help you to meet the agent. Before you get to that, you need a strong headshot. So you need a
Right.
good photographer. So all the pieces matter. So I won't say one thing is bigger than the next. I feel like we're all equal and we're
Right.
all here to help guide you into the right direction.
Okay. And so, staying here again, um, as a casting director, right? Do you miss auditions being in person? Because I know, like, ever since COVID, a lot of auditions are just self tapes. And so I know they say, like, casting directors, they only watch like the first 5 seconds. So do you like miss that?
Mm, 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 mm. Um, s- while I was casting other projects, I rather castings being in person,
Yeah.
but I don't mind looking at a self tape first to then bring in the right people for the
Mm.
callback.
So both.
Yeah, so both
Okay.
is good for me because even like say when I was working on the movie Notorious, as the New York casting director for that movie, I had to record all the actors and send the tapes to LA.
Mm.
Now, my LA counterparts would look at the tapes and then choose accordingly. And then we would bring them in. So for me, I like both of it right now. I don't have a problem with it. The only problem that I have is that actors don't understand how to self tape. They don't have good lighting. You're better now.
I am.
They don't have a good background. I could see kids running around, noise out the
Right.
window. So I teach a self-tape class. People think they don't need it. You need it.
You need it.
You need it.
You
My
need it.
clients get really good response from their agent. They're like, "Oh wow, your tape looks really good."
Right.
And then they'll say, "Yeah, I have a coach." You need a coach, people.
You
So
need a
yeah,
coach.
that's the only thing I don't
Wendy.
like about self-tape submission is that one guy had his camera on the floor and he's looking down at it. I was like, "What the hell? The hell is wrong with him?"
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Miss Wendy's my acting coach. So yeah. And I was terrible at self tapes. And now I'm better.
It's good.
So, Miss Wendy, how do you continue to grow and learn in your own practice as a coach?
I am always learning. Like someone will open me up to something new. For
Right.
instance, I have a kid, he's like 10. He says, "I want to learn how to cry on cue." So I started researching it. Then I started learning more about the different techniques. Because for me, I could help you to cry on cue.
Right.
But because he said that, I started researching and learning more different ways to help people better understand that what they have inside of them, they can use to carry them through.
Right.
So I'm always learning. And I especially learn a lot from the little ones. I call them my minis.
Okay.
Ava, she's so cute. She asks good questions. The
Right.
kids, Erin, they all ask good questions. So I'm constantly being challenged, and
Right.
I'm around a lot of young people. By the time you see this, I'll be 60. Stop playing with her. I'm around a lot of young people.
Right.
And they're constantly asking questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'll research it, but then I'll do a deep dive and really just start flushing things out and making it my own. So you never stop learning. Look at
Okay.
all the books I got around me.
I know.
You never stop
So do
learning.
you practice these techniques, Ms. Wendy, before
Yeah.
you? Okay.
I do, because I want to see if it works.
Right.
And then, like, I did an Instagram post where I tell people you can use 3 things to help you to cry on cue. This is what worked for me: movies, music, or memories. Movies, people watch movies, they cry. They like, oh, they drop in, and
Yeah.
put yourself in that character's position and then connect to that and then see if that works for you. Music, trust,
all the time.
all the time. And I can use memories.
Right.
The memory
All
of
the
my
time.
mom's passing, when I first heard the news, seeing her in the coffin, that could help me to drop in so fast. So as I learn, I develop my technique and then help my students perfect what feels right for them.
And that's what makes you such a great acting coach.
Thank you.
So, what's your favorite thing about being an acting coach? What do you love the most?
Talent, new people, raw,
Me.
lost and confused. Excuse me. People who are just like, don't have a clue. And I'm just like, wow.
Right.
What are you talking about? If I said to someone, do you know what it means to be off book? Answer that question, people. What does it mean to be off book? And then they don't know.
Right.
So then their answer is what's really interesting to me, because now, because of that, and lately it's been happening a lot more than usual, I'm going to write, and this is going to be a free PDF that everyone can get. And I'm going to use all the verbiage that casting directors and acting coaches and directors, producers, writers use to help you better understand and better be prepared for the work that you are going to get.
Right. And I think that makes like you super special though, Ms. Wendy, because you were a casting director. I mean, you still are a casting director, but you're a casting director and you're an acting coach. So you can't what they're looking for, and then you also can teach us. So
right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
Important.
Especially like with your self-tape classes, like you know what casting is looking for because you cast talent.
Right, exactly.
So I think that's like amazing.
Thank you.
Acting coach is not a casting director.
Right.
So.
And I always teach from a casting point of view.
You do.
So I remember years ago, maybe 20 years ago, one of my friends, she's a manager, her client had to submit. And back then, nobody really did self-tapes.
Right.
I was like, come on, I'll record her. She says she got the biggest praise because her self-tape was so good.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that I'm a casting director who helped her with the tape. But I always say agents, casting directors, managers, everyone should teach a class. And actors, you should learn from everyone.
Right.
You want to learn from everyone's point of view. I remember working with George Tillman on Notorious. George Tillman, the things he would say in the audition, I said, I wish actors could just be a fly on the wall.
Right.
And soak this stuff in. Isham Tawfiq was my reader. And at the end of casting, like that whole 7 months, he wrote me a letter. He said, what I learned with you and being a part of this process is priceless. And I'm going to take it. And then he started booking. He's best known for, he booked like the Blacklist right after that. He played Dembe.
Dembe. Oh, he was one of my faves.
Yeah.
Other than Raymond, but
yeah.
Oh my God, I love Dembe. Okay, Miss Wendy. So can you share one of the most memorable moments you have as a celebrity acting coach?
Working with Dream Doll.
Shout out to Dream.
Dream Doll. We worked on a movie called Black Heat, and
oh yeah, that movie's in theaters right now, right? It's still in theaters? Okay.
And I remember, because Dream comes in, before she sees me, she goes to the gym. She's taking care of family. Then she has a lot going on. So when she comes to me, she's just like, okay, what are we doing? I'm like, did you read your script? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I know she lying. Okay, Dream, let's go through this. Then she will run lines. And then I remember her friend was with her during this process. I was working with her on the self-tape audition, and she had to she didn't read the part where she had to break down and cry. And I said to her, this is an emotional scene.
Right.
And her friend was like, well, how you gonna get her to do that? He just yelled it out. And I was like, you can't yell that out. Be calm.
Right.
Let me get her to focus. And I remember I didn't even have to do anything drastic. I just talked to her about life. And then I can look in her eyes and tell she was ready to do the scene. And so we did the scene. And I was like, I'll never forget that. And I really like using that method. It's like, I won't run lines. I hate running lines, but I will talk to you about your life and the life of your character, and how what you guys have in common,
Right.
and so on. So yeah. I use that now. I use it with kids. I use it with adults. I use it with everybody.
Okay. And so scripts, Ms. Wendy. So when you get a big project like The Heat, that's the name of it, Dream
Black
Dolls,
Heat.
Black Heat,
Mhm.
right? You have to read that entire script,
Right.
right? So what's your process of reading that entire script and flushing all of that out before you're able to take your talent and coach your talent?
Right. So what I do first, I read it once for entertainment. I just read it from the audience point of view,
Right.
not dissecting it. Just like I watch a movie. If I watch a movie a second time or read a script a second time, now I'm reading it for understanding.
Okay.
I want to understand what's happening in each scene. Then I read it a third time, and people think, a script is like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. So that's how long it's going to take me to read it.
Right.
So I'm putting in 6 hours right there. I read it a third time, and then I start breaking it down and understanding the character's objectives and their, who are they going to use for substitutions, and what do they have in common? What is your parallel situation? I start breaking it down like that, and then breaking down the relationships between each person that my client has to interact with in the script. And then I start taking a lot of notes and writing
Right.
things down so we don't skip anything.
So what if you have, hypothetically speaking, 3 big projects, 3 big scripts?
I wake up extra early.
Oh.
I do. That's
Okay.
why I wake up at 4 in the morning.
Right.
If I have to read something, I need to read it at 4 in the morning.
Because isn't that like can it be overwhelming having like 3 big projects, 3 big scripts?
No. Oh yeah, well, it can be.
Right.
It can be. But
But you're Wendy McKenzie.
I am preparing myself for what I prayed for.
Right.
So I am going to take the time out to do it because this is what I prayed for.
Right.
So that's why I said I wake up at 4 and do what I have to do before I start my day.
Got it. Okay, Miss Wendy. So, what's some advice you would offer actors who dream of building a successful career in this demanding, competitive, beautiful industry?
Don't do it. No, I'm joking. Run. It's important to understand this work.
Right.
And I want you to treat it like that. This is a business first and foremost.
Right.
To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one with me. Stop playing, I know, right? And if you live your life like that, everything else, you will take it serious, and you'll have respect for everyone around you by showing up on time. Being on time is important. So I just want people to understand what you're getting yourself into. Read, research, and repeat. Read, research, and repeat that process, because you want to educate yourself as much as you can. There's so much information out there on the internet, everyone, casting directors, writers, everyone, the round table, everything, they're talking and giving advice, but nobody's, well, not my students. Some of my students don't listen. I'll send them a clip. I'm like, let's have a clip and let's have a conversation about this clip. So it's out there. So read and repeat that process, research, repeat that process, and educate yourself, educate yourself. And then find a mentor, find someone. You're so lucky to have me.
I am.
Find someone who's going to help guide you in the right direction. Someone you trust. And I can't be a mentor to everyone, but when I see people like you fighting hard for what you want, I will fight for you. That's why I take your calls whenever you be texting all.
Miss Wendy, let's not get into that. Oh, and I do have another question for you. Actually, I have two more questions. Social media. How do you think social media plays like a part in an actor's career or just overall like in the industry? Like, do you think that's like a very important tool to have? Because I know actors who hate social media and they don't have social media.
Right. You don't need social media. What you do need is a presence on social media. What I mean by that is I never have to post because people post for me. They mean it like not for me, but post me on their social media.
Right.
That's how people come to me. That's how people hear about me because it's a word of mouth thing. So people constantly put my information out there because I always ask people, how do you know me?
Right.
They're like, oh, I saw you on social media. I'm like, I don't remember that. But if I'm at an event and you take a picture and then the shit you be posting,
oh,
everybody, my DMs be so like, oh my God, Khadija said this. And she's like,
yeah, because you know I'm gonna post up.
Yeah,
post
right.
Miss Wendy.
And it's a lot of mentions, there's a lot of hashtags, people constantly post. Now, the second half of that is say if you're like working on a Tyler Perry project, he doesn't need you to post for him because his name carry weight.
Right.
So he can do whatever he needs to do. But I will say this for actors is if you are an actor, put your headshot as your profile pic.
Right. I did change mine, but I'm gonna put it back today.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but Miss Wendy, but you like mine. You said it was cute.
I understand that, but I always tell people, make sure you put your headshot because that represents you.
Yeah.
As an acting coach, I'm leading by example. So I got headshots done to show you, like, look at my image. Do you know how many people reach out to me because they like my headshot?
Yeah, they love my headshots now.
Right. And we have the same photographer.
Because you referred to me.
Malcolm and Dariana.
Yeah, so those were my questions. But Miss Wendy, I do have another question. I promise it's the last question. Do you have a question for me?
That's a twist.
You like how I spin that?
All right. The question I have for you is, before you met me, what was your journey like?
Wow, Miss Wendy. It's a good question. Well, so before I met you, my journey, I feel like my journey was okay. It was more so like a beginner journey. I would say like finding the ropes, trying to educate myself. Honestly, I felt like I was doing everything myself. I found an acting coach. His name was Mr. Gary. Shout out to Mr. Gary. I felt like Mr. Gary got me where I needed to be as far as, is this something I really want to continue to pursue? But then I felt like I was doing everything myself, like submitting myself, learning myself, like just teaching myself. And then finding you was reality. Like, girl, you need a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like you humbled me. Cause I am super confident, but I was like, oh, I could act. Like, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? And then doing classes with you, it was like, okay, acting is fine, but you got book work to do. So you opened my eyes to book work. Like, this is what you need to do first to really understand what you're doing, and then we bring it to the camera. Because a lot of the times actors, aspiring actors, we believe that, well, I'm no longer an aspiring actor, but but you know, actors, we do believe that, you know, if you're up and coming and you don't really know much, it's all about being in front of the camera. You know what I mean? Like, and I never knew about really like owning the book work. You know what I mean? Like really understanding what you're doing, understanding how to become the character. I'm not gonna give away the sauce because you guys are gonna have to sign up for class for that. But you know, you really just humbled me and taught me like there's way more than just being in front of the camera. And that is what made me like, oh yeah, I'm with the right person. You know what I mean? Like, you pushed me to really like learn my range and understand what I'm doing and know that, oh, and you taught me like patience and time. Cause you know me, I'm very like, Miss Wendy, I need to book this now. I need a lead role. I need this. And it was more so like, let's take a step back. We need to focus on this and we'll get there, you know? Right. And so that's why Miss Wendy's my acting coach and she's not yours, but you should sign up. for classes. And yeah, so guys, it was an honor to interview you, Miss Wendy, and find a little bit about you, you know.
Yay.
And yeah, that's a wrap.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out. And shout out to Phils for doing this amazing interview. Okay.